only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh god, yeah, that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt. I still stand by that Philadelphia Eagles take because I'm pretty sure I was right.
Do you still stand by the Trae Young is the best point guard in the NBA take?
No, that was left in the playoffs at the time. That was at the time. Let's take a break out of that. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is MV3. As usual, I have Tyler Wonky and the bottom bitch T-Bone.
He's not usual. Don't say that.
Well, he's getting consistent now. He's getting more consistent. I wouldn't say he is.
If I did something twice as consistent, like a diet, I would be in a much better place in my life. Unfortunately, 2 days of a diet don't mean shit.
No,
so,
but that's okay. But we're going with. We hope he continues to come back on, so we have our three hosts like we set this up as.
Who's we?
You. Oh, do you not want him here?
Who's we?
Do you not want him here?
He hates my guts. Like it's very obvious.
Well, that's how I pictured starting this podcast.
T-Bone, if you really want top, you can have top. If that's what it.
Oh, I like bottom. I'm bottom bitch. Okay.
You're a bottom bitch. We wouldn't have it any other way.
I thrive with scum.
Well, if you guys are following any of our socials, which by the way, I need to shout those out before I start because I will wait until like 45 minutes into the episode. Otherwise, we are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at MV3 Podcast. Outside of Twitch, which is MV3 Gaming, you can check out any of those. And for later on tonight, we will be uploading the audio to Spotify, Google Pods, and Apple Pods. So check out those as well, and check out the TikTok. I know T-Bone's been doing some work lately. He's falling behind a little bit, but that's all right. So we do have a special guest today. You guys have seen him on this show before, but he has a couple new titles since the last time that we saw him. So we're going to give you a little bit of a highlight reel of what he's all about. So without further ado, this is his highlight reel.
Hits this one up the middle. It's a green light for Valencius. He's on the way home. That ball has died in the grass. Walk off Kingfish. Pottinger's going. That one is blasted to left. It's towards the Bambino. Oh my goodness. Walk it off, Kenosha. Brandon Nye with the emphatic two-run shot to end the game. And full count. Bases loaded. 2 down. Linkletter comes home. This one's hit hard to left. Diving play. That's how it ends. Cole Gomer saves it on a dive. Early offense has been an issue, but they get a surge from Gobert. Janik belts one to left. How about back-to-back jacks? Camden Janik, his first long ball on the season, and Kenosha's up 2-0. Shadow set at the chest, the pitch. Hard grounder. 6, 4, 3. Shelley shuts the door. And for the first time in 2023, the Kenosha Kingfish have won back-to-back, and they do it here at home in front of a crowd over 2,000.
Man, that gets me going. That gets me going. Well, without further, Joe Buck, that is some high praise or insult. I don't know. But without further ado, he is the Kenosha Kingfish play-by-play commentary. This is Cory Sparks. Wait, let me actually put you in the right spot. Hold on. I keep doing this. There we go. There he is.
Get me on the bottom. Get me on the bottom. This is bullshit.
Oh, Jesus. Cory, how are we doing, man?
Doing phenomenal. Thank you for the warm welcome, guys. I know, as you mentioned before, Kyle, I've been on here before, but it has been a bit. And, what a fun summer that we encapsulated there in about a minute and a half. Really excited to be here and just talk about all of it.
Oh, yeah. And we'll interview you a little bit. We'll roast you. We'll give you shit like we always do. You are not susceptible to any of the bullshit that we put out for this. But we'll interview you, ask you a couple questions since the lovely folks have not seen you in quite some time. So we'll let them reintroduce you to our fans. So, I mean, I got one question right out of the gates. Like, I know you're in the booth and it's a little bit different in there. What's the atmosphere difference between being in the stands and calling it from the booth? Like what are the fans like? How much audio do you hear? Like the feeling of the crowd out there?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, as opposed to being a fan out there where you're taking things in, you're probably a couple drinks in and everything starts to get blurry. And you're just watching the game unfold in front of you. You know, I can't do that. I'm sure some partake in that, but can't do that on the air. So it's pretty cool, actually. You know, anything that you see in a baseball broadcast, if you're watching Fox Sports 1, if you're watching TBS in the playoffs, if you're watching anything really for any sports, the graphics, the director switching, the different camera shots, I'm hearing that in my left ear. So I have noise canceling headphones on. Anybody around me, I really can't hear them, but I can hear the director going, all right, Corey, we're about to take a shot of this fan. They've got some ice cream and a dog, or, you know, something silly. And it's my job to then react to that. I get about a 2-second heads up. And then I see it. You know, if any graphics are going to go up and we're about to see a guy's line, his average, his home run, his RBI, his OPS, if we have league leaders, standings, I'm hearing that before it goes up there so that I can kind of segue what I was talking about to what the audience is about to see on the screen. So, like any moving parts that you could possibly think of when you're watching or even just listening to a radio broadcast, I'm hearing it. So it's a lot of multitasking. I have to try and, you know, entertain and inform this audience while I've got the camera director, the different camera operators, our graphics operator, and our scorer all in my ear. So it's a lot of fun to rush. But that's what the difference is, I would say. You've got a lot of different voices in your head, quite literally.
That's a heck of a lot to deal with.
I
can't
cool,
even
though.
imagine. It seems like it's bang, 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 and it just keeps on going. But I mean, with how good that you speak on the mic, it's just a testament that like what you hear is you have no idea what's actually going on behind the scenes of what that guy is dealing with. But with that said, like what kind of nerves did you have when you were calling your first game? Like what was it like walking up to the booth, just thinking, sitting there waiting for your first call to happen?
I mean, holy crap, right? So I'm from Kenosha. This is my hometown, and the Kingfish, ever since I was born here 22 years ago, that's the highest level of baseball in town. And I have known since I was very young, I wanted to be around a mic and talking about sports in some capacity. So, you know, I end up going on there and realizing, holy cow, I am the voice of this team. And it was kind of a full circle moment, Kyle, because my dad used to play for the Kenosha Twins, who played at historic Simmons Field, and that's where the Kingfish play now. So they went from being a single A team to now it's the Northwoods. So it's summer collegiate development, wood bat, whatever you want to call it. First game, I was nervous. And even first week, because for quotes from the coaches, the players, I don't know these guys, right? You know, so I'm trying to become pretty close with them, but still draw that line in the sand and keep it professional. But yeah, just learning everything about the history of this place, you know, and there's a lot of it, and just making sure that I got that right for the diehards that are following and even people who are just tuning in on the very first day. I'm an overthinker, so I'm juggling a lot of that in my head. But, you know, once you go on the air, you just have to stay calm, regardless of what's happening before you go on a broadcast. They can't know about nerves. So I think I get a little bit of an adrenaline rush, and that kind of just carries me through the game.
Well, that's great. See, like this is a lot of things that people don't understand. Like no matter what level you're calling or what level you're doing, there's a lot that goes into it. And God, I can only imagine that what you go through just before that first call out of every game. It's just thinking of what's going to go well, what could go wrong, and like rolling with the punches from there. I think T-Bone had a question for you too.
I do. So I actually thought of one as you were talking. So I went to college in Eau Claire, so I'm familiar with the Express. I worked with them and their logistics when I worked at a hotel and dealt with a lot of people in the Express, went to a bunch of games. Fun team. Hank Aaron played for the Eau Claire Express way back when, so there's a nice statue of him. So I became familiar in college with what the Northwest League looked like. But I know, so the first question I'll go with is, how does doing baseball, because I know you've done different college sports at Oshkosh. Do you have a favorite? Like, hey, I really like calling basketball. What you've done? Basketball, volleyball, baseball. I know you've done a lot of different ones. Is there one that you're like, it's my guess would be your baseball, given from being from Kenosha, your connection with your dad and all that. So what is your favorite? What's one that's challenged you as well, sports wise?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, right? Baseball was my first love. It was the first thing I picked up with my dad being in the minors, which funny story about that. He just casually told me that like 3 or 4 years ago. You know, I'm like 18, 19, and he's like, yeah, I used to play like right across the street, right? And I'm like, oh, like, men's league. And he's like, no, I got drafted. I'm like, oh, all right. So
Cool.
yeah,
Cool
so
story.
that was,
Thanks, Dad.
yeah, that just came out of nowhere. But yeah, baseball is my first love. It's definitely my favorite. And I would say it challenges me a little bit too, right? You guys know I talk people's ears off. But with baseball, there's so much downtime. Even with the pitch clock, you kind of just got to let it breathe. I don't think you're a good baseball broadcaster if you're filling every bit of silence. Just the sounds of the ballpark, the murmuring, the crowd's reaction to a certain call or a certain play. I think that can tell a lot more of the story too. So I think the sport of baseball, and specifically this summer, it really taught me just how to be more of a storyteller instead of just calling and rapidly rattling off stats. I'm learning about who these people are, who the guys are, who the coaches are. So I would say baseball in that aspect, just like the different silences and the atmosphere of the ballpark challenged me. Gained a huge appreciation for basketball the last couple of years. That is a close second. I went to UW Oshkosh, which, you guys would be familiar with, especially
Yep.
T-Bone from Eau Claire, right?
Oh, yeah.
They made a couple of Elite Eight runs in their men's and women's programs the last couple of years. I was lucky enough to call those, and just the fast-paced action. I mean, it's 180 from baseball. There's no pauses. It's baseline to baseline. You get some timeouts, but then you have to rattle off. What do you think these people are thinking? What adjustments are they going to have to make the next couple of minutes? That type of thing. Baseball, you could not say a word for 20 seconds, and no one would bat an eye. So, and that was hard for me because I went straight from basketball, pretty much got thrown into this role that I was very lucky to take, and I kind of had to just sit back and learn. So I'd say they're challenging in their own ways, T-Bone, but just understanding when to channel it back for a sport like baseball and when to turn it up and just rattle things off and keep up with the pace of play with a sport like basketball or hockey. It's just kind of making that adjustment to each sport and doing it seamlessly is a little difficult.
Yeah, I can believe it. I know as a coach on the sideline, being from football, I've done football, I've coached track, I've coached basketball, now still basketball. You take things, I think it's got to be similar. You take things from each one that you've done, and like, I'm not going to coach kids the same way I would in football or track that I would in basketball, but I can still take leadership and life lessons and stuff like that. It's just, I'm sure it's similar of taking the little things, but you got to tweak them sport specific. So with that though, I'll give you a little easier one. Most booths are 2 to 3 people, depending on network and sport and whatnot. You're in the booth. You get 2 people. You can do any role. You can do play-by-play comment, whatever it is. You and 2 others. Who you going with?
I'm shooting it with Pat Hughes. I mean, the amount of knowledge you could get from just being in the same room as that man, whether he's doing, I'd obviously let him do play-by-play, and I would just sit back and listen. I mean, Pat Hughes would be one. Vince Scully, obviously, rest his soul. And then, current people right now who are kind of up and coming. Adam Amman is huge. And just in terms of, I think he does a phenomenal job of being excited. And it sounds like he's screaming his head off, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Because if you actually scream into a microphone, you've probably done it here. Like, it makes an ugly sound. But Adam Amman is very good about portraying excitement through the microphone so that you get excited, but not so much that you go, oh my ear's destroyed. Like, this man just screamed into a microphone. What is he doing? So I think he does a really good job of painting the picture. But yeah, if I had to pick 2, I'm going Pat Hughes, Vince Scully, and then, Adam Amman's up there. Bob Uecker, of course. That guy's an encyclopedia. Yeah, but definitely Hughes and Scully are like the 2.
Yeah, I mean, Hughes, just being a Cubs fan, it makes I'm all for that. It's what I basically grew up on WGN, because I never was a Brewer fan, so I never either listened on the radio or listened on WGN. That I know Pat Hughes' voice I'm very familiar with him in the Legend. So yeah, I love that pick personally. Vince Scully, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. But I know Kyle's got one more for you. So Kyle, what we got to wrap it up?
So for people who don't necessarily follow in the minors, you want to give us a little bit of a season review of what the Kingfish got done this year?
Yeah. So in general, I mean, this team is these are a lot of guys who are going to get drafted. And with that, there's a lot of turnover. So because they're all in college, whether it's Division 1, 2, 3, or junior college or JUCO, some guys are going to be here for 2 weeks. Some guys are going to be here for a month. Some will be wire to wire, day 1 to the last. And we just had a lot of turnover, like most teams. So, I mean, the Kingfish were 31-41. Obviously, you're going to miss the playoffs when you're 10 games under 500. But I thought we had, some exciting moments. 36 home games in a year, and we had 3 walk-offs. So we're getting a walk-off about every 3 weeks, which I thought I'm really lucky to have those. I mean, walk-offs are so rare. I know some guys who called in this league, and there's 24 teams now because they keep expanding throughout the Midwest. They didn't get a walk-off all year. So the fact that I had 3 really fun group of guys. I mean, you have guys like Adam Pottinger. I don't know if you guys saw the video. He went viral for us. He made a diving play in right field and got number 1 on SportsCenter. But then like a month before for Indiana State, he fake robbed a home run. So he got this viral sensation walking in, but then he's going to be right next to somebody who's going to a junior college. And so you're just going to get a lot of really cool stories with that too. I mean, these guys would have never met otherwise. So, record-wise, obviously it wasn't the most fun thing to watch, but we had so many high moments with the walk-offs and the viral plays and these college kids just being goofballs on the bus. They're playing Mafia with each other. Like, I think just getting to know them and learning how to be a storyteller. I can't control what's on the field, but I can control what I find out and what I tell other people. Whether it's someone's 200th time listening to the Kingfish or their first, I want to teach them something, probably make them laugh. I try to be a corny broadcaster, and, throughout the summer with them, I think it allowed me to do that. But yeah, performance-wise, missed the playoffs. We were around mediocre for most of the year. Won like 8 of 9 at one point, so that was fun. We were floating at about 18 and 16, but then came back down to earth. There's just a lot of turnover, though, so it's really tough to gauge.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Awesome. Love it.
Well, now that they've gotten to know you a little bit more, do you care to banter with us a little bit?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we usually start our episodes off with a multitude of different things. Today, actually, I'm going to pass the baton to T-Bone because this was, I believe, T-Bone's idea. So if you want to go and run with it.
Yeah. So very frequently we've done the drafts before. I know we did the video game, the sports game draft.
Which I won.
No, you did not win.
Which I
you
won.
got disqualified.
I have it. I will pull it up if needed. No, you did not.
I absolutely
not a chance.
No. But so as longtime listeners and viewers of the show will know, we've done a couple of these every so often, trying to get a little bit more frequent. I don't know what clicked in my head I think a week and a half ago when we were going to do it. Obviously we had to postpone last week, so it's been in my head for a while. But I just entitled it Days That Hit Different. Now, I didn't want to give it away, so I didn't want to give like a bunch to Cory because I was trying to explain it to him. But like Christmas morning, like that kind of stuff, last day of school, like those days that are just they're elite days, and it goes beyond the Christmas, the Thanksgiving, New Year's, the holidays that are obviously special days in their own right. You can have that. If Christmas is your shit, you can draft Christmas. No, there are no rules here, okay? As long as you can justify why it hits different for you, it can be a personal thing, no problem. But I think we're going to do 3, right? We're each going to grab a little three of them.
Yep.
I don't know who wants to go first.
I'd say let's Cory go first.
Do it. Yep.
I think that's
the best.
So we're gonna snake. We're gonna snake it.
I'll go last because I had the most time and it's my topic, so I'll go last. I'll be the hero. So
the hero.
Cory, what you got? What you got for us?
I feel like I'm definitely. So I get 3, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm definitely poaching one here because it's the first thing I thought of. But snow days were amazing. Knowing all right,
I gotta take that off my list.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'm sorry, that was hanging fruit. But just knowing I don't know, the district I went to school under, sometimes they wouldn't make the call until 5:30 in the morning, and my bus came at 6. So I'm like, well, this kind of sucks. I had to stress out about it. But if they called it the night before, beautiful.
You're part of the younger generation because I know for the 3 of us, we didn't do that. We had to be up at watching the ticker at the bottom. Greenfield never canceled the night before ever.
No.
And then in 2016, we knew
they go by MPS. They go by MPS now.
And now it's they knew by 4 p.m. the day before, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
So
I had to wake up super early for this shit. What is this?
It ruined the day.
So I have some snow days are gonna be going away fairly soon, guys. My district, because I'm a teacher, we only get 1 snow day now a year. Anything else after that, virtual days. Got to post stuff to Google Classroom. Got to get assignments done. It's because DPI or Department of Instruction, you need to be in school a certain number of days each year. So if there's too many of those, you got to add hours to the day. You got to add days into the summer. They don't really want to do that. So now in the age of technology and the internet, you're going to school online, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so snow days are now something that a lot of kids maybe don't get access to anymore. Or even, parts of the country that don't get snow don't understand that either. So
That's fair.
but yeah, good pick.
So just for the people coming in, because I see we have a lot of viewers that are rolling in here, we are drafting days that just hit different, whether it's days that you think of now, days that you think of when you were a kid or in high school. So Tyler, do you want to go second or third?
Whew. You know what? You go.
All right.
I'm risking it here.
I'm pulling out one that I probably should wait to pull out because I don't think anybody's going to pick this regardless, but I'm going to say in high school, Fall Fridays. And the reason I'm picking Fall Fridays is it's high school football. It just hits. I don't know what it is. It just hits different when you get out of school. Sure. There's days where I go home. There's days where I just hang around the high school and just like bounce between people, wait for the game to happen. And it's always just, we never, like when we were in high school, when I was in high school, at least, we never really had a great team, but it was always the social interaction. I loved football regardless, but shut up, T-Bone.
Hey, I wasn't a part of those teams. I was too young.
That's fair. I am a bit older than you guys, so but it just Friday night football for me, a Fall Friday. It like it says, it just hits different.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. Well, Wonky was on the team with me when we broke the losing streak for playoffs for the high school.
And they got destroyed by Waterford.
Not me. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Not me. I was only a junior. Wonky was the senior.
Well, calling me on the team is a bit of a stretch, considering I rode the bench all high school. But
I didn't say that.
Hey, nobody said that. You could have easily gotten away with this.
Ignorance is bliss, man. You could have concealed that one.
What was that? 10 years ago?
I don't pretend to be any different than who I am.
Jesus.
All right.
I would have told a compulsive lie right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the best day you could possibly have as an adult. Ooh. It's sometimes every week. It's sometimes every other week. It's payday, baby.
Okay.
When that Friday comes and you got a fresh amount of money in your account, knowing that the whole world can be your oyster. That's Christmas morning for working adults every other Friday or every single Friday.
I love it.
Payday, baby. Number one for me.
I'll tell you what day's not hitting different. It's today. Today is miserable outside.
Something's hitting, and it's the heat on your face.
I think I looked at my phone.
Sweating.
It was at like 3:00. It was 98. A feels like of 114, and I'm like, "What? I'm in Wisconsin, not Texas. What are we doing?"
Sign up for this.
No, it makes me regret being a warehouse worker for all of these years. Ridiculous. It makes me think of I need to do other things. But with that said, T-Bone, you are up.
So I'm going to just go personal. I know there's better options, but for me personally, similar to your Fall Fridays, the last basketball game before Christmas break in high school. And now I didn't know if this was strictly high school, but I've had this feeling as a coach, like, hey, it's December 21st, 20th, whatever. We got a game, and then we got like 4 or 5 days off for the holiday. I know it hits just the same as a coach, so I know. So for me, it was always, usually we played a rival. It was a bigger game. Usually it was like a wet Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we were done with school. So I'm taking the last basketball game before Christmas break. That's my number one. It's a personal one.
Okay.
It's literally what made me think of this. So
I like it.
That's mine.
I like it. So you got another one for us since it's a snake?
Yep, I do. I do.
I'm a snake.
And this one it might be just because of the time of year. The first fantasy football draft. Whatever day
I've already
you
had
have
that.
your
I know,
but the day you have your first one, it's a great day. That means football is officially back.
Mm-hmm.
It's fall, or it's about to be fall. Gonna cool off a little bit, hopefully. Yeah. So whatever day is your first fantasy football draft is my second pick.
Okay.
Speaking of that, Davis, I'm going to get you the money Friday. My first payday.
They're lining up.
Attaboy.
Yep.
Attaboy.
Yep.
All right. So that would go back to Tyler, I believe. Yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm so glad you guys went like super niche on these for you. So like all of the big ones are saved for me.
Oh,
So
I'm
I'm
going
clearly
niche
going to win the
again.
second draft in a row. This is
that's
great.
fine. You're not going to win. but that's
You're
fine.
not going to win. You
I
didn't win
am
the first
picking-
one.
Payday is good though. Payday is.
I'll give you that.
Thank you. I am picking the best national holiday out there, and I'm telling you right now, it's not Christmas. For all of you horror movie fans out there, for all of you fans of the cooler weather of fall, Halloween is the best holiday of the year, whether you are a kid going trick-or-treating, getting all that delicious candy, buying your costume, to being an adult, watching the horror movies, going out drinking at Halloween parties, still dressing up as an adult. Halloween is fun. No matter what age you are, Halloween number 2.
I second that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm gonna do a little pushback because I don't know how much fun you can have on a Tuesday in October.
That's where I was going to go with that.
As much as you want.
Yeah.
Most of the
It-
celebrating is done the
I-
weekend before, but
Or
I
after.
can give you it if it was like a guaranteed Friday or Saturday.
sure.
It should honestly Halloween should just be the last Saturday of October. Just fuck it. Like it's a made up holiday. It's like Thanksgiving.
That's fine. There's a lot of made up holidays.
No, I know. I'm saying it's perfectly fine. So why does it have to be the 31st? Like, let's make it a good day. The last Saturday of October. I think Halloween would be far further up my list if it was like Thanksgiving, third Thursday or the third Thursday in November, whatever the official rules are.
Mhm.
Fair critique. I'm sticking
Okay.
with Halloween.
That's
man.
fine. It's fine. It's not a
Okay.
bad. It's not a bad
Halloween.
pick. Not a bad.
Okay. It's days that hit different. So you said you can discuss if you don't like it, but I'm going with Sundays at 11:59 going to noon. And in the fall and in the winter, and hearing the great words of 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. So I gotta bring in the sports aspect. Almost every pick. So mine's just plain and simple. It's Sunday afternoon into Sunday night in the fall.
Okay.
So
Because
are
Chris
you
Hansen
claiming
sucks.
Sunday night football then? Because
Whoa,
I gotta
whoa,
take that one
whoa.
off my list.
Chris Hansen sucks.
Chris Hansen's a terrorist. Okay. He wants to get rid of special teams unless it's a field goal, which is bullshit. All right. I, as a former special teamer myself,
So you don't like
I
red
fucking
zone?
hate the red zone. It's the worst.
I love red zone.
It's the worst by far. It's the worst programming.
He just
for
shit
NFL.
on my day.
Yeah.
You
No,
piece
you're
of
doing
shit.
fine. No, because you said Sunday afternoon and evenings for football. That's perfectly good.
Yeah, I
Watching
didn't
Chris
specify
Hansen-
red zone. I just
Yeah,
love
you
hearing
kinda
it on
did.
Sunday.
You kinda
I just
did.
love
You
hearing it
kinda
on
did.
Sunday.
Marissa's
Yeah.
very anti-red zone too.
Good.
So you know,
She is a winner. She was cool before that. She's really cool now.
She says
Well,
it
I
just
think
like
Tyler thinks
too
she's a
much.
winner. Otherwise, I don't think he would have proposed.
You're
So
right.
there's
You're
that.
It only took him 12 years.
Yeah,
10,
well.
fucker.
10. Double digits.
Hey, all right.
I just had to be
all right.
really sure.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
you know, you don't really know.
Fair enough. All right, Corey, we have your second and third picks.
Ooh, the snake,
Second
that's
and final pick, I should say.
Oh, yeah.
I will start off with what I think is one of the funniest days of the year. The first day of March Madness, when every one of our sorry souls, the first 1 or 2 games goes by, the 5-12 matchup's done, the 7-10's done, and you got it right. And you're like, oh, you know what? There might just be a way. And then like 2 hours later, we're on shambles.
And then Purdue loses.
And then Purdue loses. I think
I
it's
had
just
that one.
hilarious.
I had that one. That was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
We're going to need evidence of that at some point. We'll
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
fine.
that later.
fine.
That's a good pick. I like
Yeah,
that.
I feel
I
like
like that as a really good pick.
you get this
Good pick.
high, and then you will crash at some point. Some it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
2:30 p.m., some it's 5.
Cool.
Yeah. You're
Some
never
it's
going to make
like-
it to day. Very few make it to
Some
day
it's
two.
like 11:45.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
AM. Not
Oh, I got
PM.
I got fucked at like one. I think this
Yeah.
last one, my first game, I screwed up. So it
Yeah,
was a
rough.
rough year last year.
Advice,
All right.
gentlemen: you never get fucked if you don't play.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I kind of like getting fucked.
I have never made a
Kinda
bracket
fun.
ever.
I was gonna say, I feel like, yeah, it's getting okay. All right,
Yeah.
Corey,
Yeah.
your last pick. Moving on. Before this gets awkward.
Oh yeah.
Last day before break at school, where you go to recess and it's
Yeah.
like the Super Bowl.
No,
You're playing football with everybody at recess, and that's the final game. That's it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, it's a good one. That's
You gotta
a
go
great, that's a
show
great
out.
pick.
Yeah.
That is a great pick.
That was a great pick.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that's
so-
back to me.
Yep.
Are we really gonna get through this whole thing and nobody's gonna pick Christmas?
It's overhyped.
I agree. It's overhyped. It was only incredible when you were like between the ages of like 5 and like 12.
Yeah.
Christmas kind of sucks
5
as
and
an
6.
adult, especially like
It
you have to
is
go to
terrible.
like,
It
multiple
is
parties.
so bad as an adult.
Like,
I
yeah,
There's no
you know,
parties. There's no
last
real good
Chris-
parties at
Last
least.
Christmas,
I
got
give you my heart.
oh, close.
The very next day.
I got a wonderful
away.
gift. Not that I don't appreciate gifts, but I got the best gift I've probably gotten in 10 years, and it was a hex-clad pan.
Mhm.
So
I get excited.
Gordon
Okay,
Ramsay
I don't
uses.
care. I have a question. I have a quick question.
yeah,
Do you get excited, like, even no matter
Every day.
when you stopped getting gifts? Do you or did you get excited when your parents bought you socks and underwear?
I get a lot more excited as an adult.
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Yeah.
much more excited now.
you.
Yeah.
Now it's an
great.
asset. You're
It's
like, oh, I
great.
don't have to buy
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
now I
great.
don't have to buy them.
My parents give me socks every year for Christmas now, and it hits
Same.
so different because I don't
Yeah.
buy myself socks throughout the year, so I need them by Christmas time.
You're
It's
like,
just
I got
different.
so
It's
many
just
holes.
different.
That sock stipend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's
I'm
great.
gonna go with an adult holiday, or not a holiday, adult day. I don't partake in this anymore
Oh, I
for
know
the time
what this is.
being.
I know. Yep.
But the day that I'm going with is not New Year's. It is Blackout Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I don't partake because if you guys follow me personally, I haven't had a drink in 6 months. But back in the day, it used to be everybody was out because no one works the next day.
Yep.
And it was just everybody who's anybody is at the bar. I'm not getting plastered, but I'm hanging out with all of my friends. And this was probably from like 21 to probably like 28. And then I realized, wow, this is dumb. I'm going to get hurt out here. But
So you're telling me I can't do this next year? After I wait, this
you
is my
can do
last
whatever
year?
you want. I'm just saying
28
I
now.
stopped doing
I'm
it.
28 now, so
Rock,
now
yeah.
I gotta stop. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
After this,
Yeah, you have to stop. So I'm going with Blackout Wednesday for my final pick.
All right, it's a good one. I have it on my list. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. So that would go back to Tyler.
All right.
Last pick, Ty. What do you got?
Last pick.
Okay, so you didn't officially pick Christmas. I had Christmas Eve on my list because I think Christmas Eve is better than Christmas Day, but I'm not going there.
Okay.
I'm going with easily the best summer holiday out there. It's not 4th of July.
Oh
You
no.
It's
always have to throw
actually
the curveball.
Memorial Day.
Oh, okay.
Memorial Day is the best holiday because it's right at the beginning of summer. You know, you have the whole summer to look forward to while enjoying a nice cookout with friends and family. The weather's finally starting to get nice, even in our miserable state of Wisconsin.
Dude, it still might be 40. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember last
90.
time we've had a bad Memorial Day.
No, you're right. I can't remember either.
Like
good
we've
pick.
had bad Mays,
like that.
but bad Memorial Days are a little.
It is like the official kick off the summer.
Yeah.
Especially like where we all grew up or where we grew up because of like Dan Jansen Fest is that weekend.
Yeah.
It's like it's the summer. We're here. We're probably gonna get in a fight if we're being hooligans.
And we were hooligans. It's Greenfield. We were all hooligans.
I didn't get in no fights that I got caught in, so
There's the kicker.
didn't get caught.
There it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's a
I-
good one. That's fair.
I like that
It's-
one. That was a
It
good
was
one.
between that and Boxing Day, so you know I had to choose one. I'm kidding.
Flag Day.
I was gonna say
Flag Day's a good day. Usually,
Arbor Day.
Ooh, I'm President's Day because it's in February. All right. So for the last one, I'm gonna go. There's two here. One that is more niche because I don't know how many times this happens. But my honorable mention first is last day of school, high school, college, whatever. Last day of school. It's not the pick, but I had to mention it. But the one I am gonna pick is knowing you're gonna quit your job and going into work that last day to quit your fucking job. It's the best
Yes.
feeling because you're like, yeah, you don't care what's going on. You're gonna motherfuck everyone, and you're like, you fucking suck. Your ass. Fire me. Don't care. I'm quitting anyway.
fuck you,
so
fuck you,
the
fuck you,
yeah.
fuck you. You're cool.
Pull the
Fuck you.
clerk's
Yeah.
moment. Nice.
So the
Uh-huh.
last day, either you've quit or you put. If it's a nice place, you put in your 2 weeks, and it's the last day.
Mhm.
It's so fulfilling. Yet, like, you have like hope. You're like, this next job could be the one.
Mhm.
It's like a girlfriend, but like better.
And then you
the
also
job pays
realize
you.
that then you have the harsh realization that, man, should I have even left that last job?
And then yeah. Well,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I'm gonna go the day the last day after you quit your job, or if you're just saying fuck it and going scorched earth, like I'm coming in on like a Tuesday, like yeah, fuck all y'all, like y'all are ass. So
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm assuming T-Bone took down all of those picks.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're going to have this up for you either on Facebook, TikTok. We're going to have it somewhere for you so you guys can vote who won this one.
Yep.
I'm not going to have him repeat it. Well, do you want to repeat him or no?
No,
You
I
want
don't
to
want to do
All
that.
right. Well, you guys will have to check out the socials and pay attention to see who won, and we will announce it on the next episode. I don't think anybody voted
No,
because I only put it on Spotify, and I was a dumb for that.
correct.
I'll
But
vote.
that's okay. That's all right.
Of course, like mine. Got it.
Email
All
me.
right. All right.
Well, if
good
nobody
graphic.
votes, I'm saying Cory wins by default, which is fine.
Freaking go.
So we do have other stuff to talk about. We have been a very variety show today, and that's totally fine. I like it.
All good.
It's still
All good.
technically not really the off season. The preseason of football and college hasn't started yet, but we have been doing this religiously every week, and I love doing this. We are going to do an immaculate grid that T-Bone has set up, and I think our four minds should be able to come up with one fairly easily. So
Yeah, you got to imagine we can. Like I said, I don't ever get to peek at this, but except when I pull it up, and I did see the Green Bay. I didn't see anyone on top, but now that I'm seeing it, this should be pretty easy if we're being for real. So for everyone at home, on the left side we got the Browns, Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints. On the top, we got the Chargers, the Texans, and Super Bowl MVP since 1999. I think the most obvious one, because there's only one, it's Packers Super Bowl MVP, Aaron Rodgers.
there's two. There's two obvious ones.
I don't know. There's another.
Since what year?
99.
1999.
Yeah, okay.
I'm pretty sure the Saints ones will give me two.
Yeah, it's 100% because he's the only one.
He is.
That's
the only
obvious.
Wouldn't
Okay.
the Saints
Won
be
the other
only
one
one
in
too?
97.
Was Saints was Breeze,
Breeze?
right? It was Breeze.
Could we use Breeze for the Chargers?
Oh,
Yeah, but we don't. But do we have another answer for the Saints?
No,
Have they won another
we
Super
don't.
Bowl?
No,
No.
we don't. Do we?
So it's got to
Okay,
be Breeze.
that's fair. That's fair.
I wonder.
I
how
like
they
the
would-
answer. I like the answer, but you can only use one
Yeah,
name.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Now Brown.
Oh,
Malcolm
no,
Smith.
yeah. I'll
Malcolm
give you-
Yeah, I was
Smith.
gonna say.
I remember
was
seeing
gonna
that
say.
one.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Because he's the only one. He should be
At the
only
one.
Yep,
Yep.
there it is. That's a 3-100.
So
Packers,
do they-
Texans, Randall Cobb.
Randall
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say,
Cobb,
do they have to play a
Cobb.
game?
Amari Rodgers.
Amari Rodgers. Yes, I feel like Amari Rodgers would
I
be
think
way
Sam
lower.
Congado went to Houston.
Sam
Jonathan Owens, but he hasn't played yet.
Oh, that's a good one.
But he hasn't
Hey,
played,
hey,
so would it count?
I don't know.
You got to be
Hey,
careful. We don't want to test the waters with
Yeah,
this.
I
'cause
wouldn't
then
do
you
Owens.
only
Okay,
get-
okay, we got one. We got one for sure. All right, I
Okay.
still think I'm pretty sure it's Sam Congado is the one I might type in because I'm pretty.
I got
sure he
one
went
for
to the
Browns.
Texans.
Browns Texans. That's not Deshaun Watson. Jadeveon Clowney.
Clowney, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Clowney. I feel like there's more.
Case Keenum,
Ooh.
Did
Tyrod.
Did Lamar Miller play for the Browns? Who did he go to after he left the
Dolphins,
Texans?
Miami.
Was it Dolphins? Okay, never mind.
Oh, I have one for Browns Chargers. Thanks to TikTok, Isaac Rochelle.
Oh,
Okay, now we need to use
That's
that
a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
You mean Isaac Cooch?
it is, but I can't type that in, and I'm not about to get a clip and do it, and then it'd be like, oh, type in Cooch and it'd be wrong. I'm not about to do that for clout.
That's fair.
I'm not
That's not even good cloud either.
What do you mean? Those two are fucking legends on TikTok. Do not disrespect those two people. They are fucking hilarious.
Fine. Packers, Chargers.
Packers, Chargers, Brian Bulaga.
Brian
Corey
Bulaga would be
Lindsley,
one.
Casey Hayward.
Half of the offensive line.
All right, between Lindsley, Bulaga, and
Casey Hayward. I think there's another one. I feel
What
like.
do we?
Oh, Brandon Cook's bottom middle.
Oh, from a couple weeks ago, Niall Diggs.
Oh yeah. Who?
Niall Diggs. Remember from a couple weeks ago, he played for the Chargers and someone else. He was originally a Packer.
He was
Niall
originally a
Diggs.
Packer.
I'm gonna take that easy one because
I'd say Saints Texans is Brandon Cooks. That's the easy one.
Yep.
that's Cook.
Oh,
0.27.
Marky Ingram.
0.27.
That'd probably be more rare.
Kenny Stills. Right? Didn't he play for the
Yep.
Saints?
Kenny Stills definitely played for the Saints.
Kenny the Thrill. Nice.
All right, there's a good one. All right.
Okay.
So Saints, Chargers.
We're not using Breeze, right?
Yeah,
We can't use Breeze.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
can't repeat
Sproles.
him.
Darren Sproles.
Yes.
Darren
Sproles would work.
Sproles.
Manti Te'o.
Manti-Te'o, yeah.
Oh, who do you think is more rare, Manti or Darren?
Definitely. I feel like
Manti.
Te'o. 100% Te'o.
He's not real.
Oh, his girlfriend's not real.
Oh,
Close. Yeah, that's
Honestly,
good.
that documentary did make me feel bad for him.
that one is
Like,
a good one. I like
yeah.
that one.
That was a good
Yeah.
one. All right.
Speaking of the
Browns.
We thinking
Texans.
Jadeveon?
You have
Jadeveon
Jadeveon.
Clowney.
You
Keenum,
have
Case Keenum, Tyrod Taylor. They all did. Who do you think's more rare?
Probably Keenum. I feel like
Keenum.
everyone knows that Taylor. Because the whole joke with Tyrod Taylor is he leaves and then someone ends up being a good starting
Ooh,
quarterback.
that's a
Yeah,
good
there you
one.
go. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got Randall Cobb, Mari Rogers. I'm going Sam.
Amari
Gatto.
Rogers.
I feel
You're
like
going
Amari
Sam
Rodgers.
Con?
I'm gonna go Gatto. I'm pretty confident in this one. Is it Sam Gatto?
Oh, I don't know. This is you. This is all you.
Pressures.
I know his real name is Sam Gatto, but yeah, fuck yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and look at that. It's another diamond.
Point 83. Let's go, baby.
Kyle Diggs, like, are we the only
Only-
ones who pick Niall Diggs?
Only because we got him from last like a couple weeks ago when I pulled it out of my ass. 'Cause I think he played for like the Chargers and the Texans, and I was like, oh,
I think
he
that's
played
by
for the
far
fucking
not even
Packers.
close. That's gotta be
gotta be one of the best.
one of the best.
Because the far right, that don't mean shit. Like
No,
they're all
They
100.
canceled
the only
the
three.
worst we
Stalemate.
did was Manti-Te'o, and that's still 11%. That's still really good.
We are fucking goated.
All right. So, well, we're awesome. Outside of that, which we already knew.
It's true. This is
We
very-
have week 0 in the college football world. We have been hype in the past for week 0s because it is college football, but it's a little lackluster this year. Like something's missing. Like the only big thing about this is that Notre Dame and Navy play in Ireland, which I'm gonna watch because I want to see the game in Ireland. I'm not really hyped to see the game itself because Notre Dame should win by a healthy margin.
Yeah.
But is there anything that we are hyped for week 0 this week? If anybody wants to take the floor, go for it.
I am not personally.
Oh,
Anyone else?
This could be a short segment.
It doesn't sound like anyone is.
The only thing that could like get the reason you're going to get views this weekend is college football's on TV again, and they're playing.
Yep.
They're playing in
playing.
yeah. So
Notre
you're going to see
Dame is
Caleb
playing-
Williams. You're going to see Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That's what the poll is this weekend. Is it's Caleb Williams?
Well, all right. Well, then here, because I have it up on my left hand side. I'll play a little game. Over under $13 for the what was it 7 games this weekend. Over under $13, the cheapest ticket. Now I'll list the 7 games. Navy at Notre Dame. That one doesn't count. You can't buy tickets for in Dublin. I don't know why.
Shocker.
UTEP versus Jacksonville State. UMass at New Mexico State.
I can't answer this because I have the answer in front of me.
Ohio at San Diego State. Hawaii at Vanderbilt. San Jose State at USC. Florida International at Louisiana Tech.
What did you
Over
set the
under $13.
I can't answer this question. I have the answer in front of me.
Is this just like average ticket price?
Nope. So
The lowest ticket
price
you can buy.
get for any one of these games. The lowest ticket.
I would
Or
say
you-
over just because of inflation. Like prices of everything are
Oh,
going
there,
up, so
Corey's back,
prices
Corey's
of
back.
seats are
Okay.
going up.
I was gonna say I thought we lost Corey for a second there.
Oh, no. Well, no. Maybe.
He just looks like he's thinking very hard about this.
He looks very concentrated.
I think I heard an under out of him though.
You did, and then I think I just heard you did. So
Yep.
okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So
All right, Corey, I'm gonna bounce you for a second. I'll bring you right back in a second. Hang
Yep.
on here. I'm gonna wait.
Wait.
So he'll be back in a second.
Yep.
It is under though, which I'm.
yeah.
Am I even surprised?
$7 for Vanderbilt against Hawaii
Jesus.
Wow.
in Nashville. It's a little surprising.
All right, we have movement. We see
Okay,
movement
we're
here.
good.
There we go.
Beautiful.
All right, we got
You
it.
were correct, Corey. If you didn't hear, it is under $7
There we go.
for Hawaii against Vanderbilt.
Well, and that's in
Um,
Tennessee too. If it was in Hawaii, it would be more expensive.
I don't
sure.
think so. Well,
you don't
you
think
can't,
so?
you can't talk about money in Hawaii right now because things are on fire. Okay, not allowed to talk about it.
Are you gonna find another thing to yell at me about? and
No.
turn my entire fan
No.
base against me again?
No.
Okay.
But that's college football. There's our preview. College football sucks this weekend, but it's back.
Okay,
But-
one question
What?
is
What?
it's just an off the top. Is the Heisman of this year going to be playing this weekend?
No, fuck no.
Okay, good. All right, good. We
No.
agree on that. So we both think that Caleb
So
Williams
basically,
is
you just
not
asked
winning.
me, do I think Caleb Williams is going to repeat? The answer
I
is no.
wanted to make it sound a little more
I know.
interesting.
I like it. You did a spin zone. All right, but here's my spin zone. I'm going a little bit of a tangent
I'm ready.
because as of recent times, the Swamp King documentary just dropped. Johnny Manziel's was a couple weeks ago. A year or so ago, we got the Manti Te'o. So a lot of documentaries coming about the mid 2000s, early 2010s football. It was a great time, albeit the BCS. Arguably one of the most dominant teams was the Florida Gators for about a 5-year span, from about 06, 05 to 10, give or take, aka Tim Tebow.
Oh, did you forget who else is on that team?
Aaron Hernandez.
And the
Did
Pouncey
not
twins.
forget.
And the Pouncey twins, yeah.
And Riley Cooper, racist.
Riley Cooper was
Yeah, I was
Racist
like,
Riley
racist Riley. Racist
Yep.
Riley
So
Cooper.
here's the thing. I don't think it's a secret to anyone that I am anti-Urban Meyer. I'm anti anything Ohio State. But this is pre-Ohio State, and I still didn't like Urban Meyer. I grew up in a church with youth group and all that, so I like Tim Tebow as a person and as a football player because he's a hard-nosed, do the job, play good football. I like Tim Tebow. I hate everything else about that fucking team. And as we all know, well, maybe not, but those teams were, as we were just making allude to, we were referencing some of the characters that were on these teams. The Pouncey twins, for one, best friends with double murderer Aaron Hernandez, triple because he took his own life. Gotcha, 3-time murderer.
Ooh, that's a good question. Does suicide count as murder?
It could.
Yeah, you're
it
murdering
should.
yourself.
3 times successful. That's all I'm gonna say. He's 3.
Sounds very Chris Benoit of you.
Yeah, 3-peat.
Oh,
Yeah, that was bad.
Yikes.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yikes.
Yeah, I take that one back. That was bad.
He was framed, by the way. He's framed.
oh, come on! Get out of here.
So I saw this tweet. Now I think the documentary, if you just are a fan of college football from that time and it's just recapping the success, great. But it's untold stories. And this documentary didn't cover the most shit that I would have ever wanted to listen about this. It didn't touch on Cam Newton being kicked off for throwing a laptop out the window and stealing it. Fun fact.
That was a huge thing too for the
Massive.
longest time.
Probably. And honestly, they didn't even touch on Carlos Dunlap getting a DUI days before the SEC championship in 2009. Aaron Hernandez, they talked about one situation where Tebow was like, I should have gotten them out of there. Of course, Tebow's going to say that. Like,
I can see them not talking about Aaron Hernandez, though.
Aaron Hernandez,
I think
can
They're trying to wipe that from
Yeah,
everybody's memory.
that's probably
no
a
one gonna
touchy
forget.
subject.
But then they didn't even touch on the Pouncey twins, and if they're going to try to distance themselves from Hernandez, the Pouncey twins famously had a picture go viral of them after he was convicted, or I think charged, wore hats saying "Free Hernandez."
Not a good
Bad look. Tough.
Not a good look.
Tough. You got Urban's heart attacks. Bullshit, aka drug user. I think allegedly. I don't know that.
I
For
was
sure.
gonna say, is that
I was gonna
confirmed?
say you
I don't know.
better put
I don't know.
allegedly on the end of that.
The whole bullshit that happened to the 2009 Sugar Bowl and all the bullshit that happened. That's a whole nother list. Riley Cooper, as we said, known racist.
Yeah,
I
but
think
that's when he was an NFL player, though. Like,
Yeah, but
He was on the team.
He was on the team.
didn't touch on it
If
at
you're
all.
classifying some of this stuff,
right? But if
it-
they're talking about their run in college football, like that's after
he
the
was
fact.
still
Like,
he was still like an elite player
Yeah.
for them,
right,
Yeah.
right.
for that
But like,
team. But they didn't mention him at all. So it's like,
the amount of
It-
controversy around this team, they
Yep.
missed on a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And
oh,
now
oh,
I
so
need
they
to
didn't talk
watch it.
about Riley Cooper at all.
no,
No.
Oh, I thought they talked about him, but not like his racist rant when he was already in the
No.
NFL. Okay,
nope.
So they just
mentioned
like
Cam-
blacklisted everybody
everything I
that
just
had any
listed.
controversy.
Everything I just listed, the Carlos Dunlap thing wasn't mentioned about him getting a DUI before the championship.
So
game,
did they
period.
mention? Did they mention any like bad crap that happened at Florida,
No,
or did they
no.
only talk about the team's success?
Okay. So they also didn't talk about Urban Meyer's wife and kids in Gainesville, and like life after Tebow, because Tebow was only there until what, 08?
I believe so. Yeah.
08?
Yeah, he
Ish?
was drafted in 09.
Yeah. So they didn't talk about any of that. All it was saying Tim Tebow was different, which, yeah, I think we all knew that. And like Urban Meyer was like this genius. Like it was basically produced and ran by Urban Meyer, who just stroked his own fucking ego and was like, I'm the greatest coach in this team's history after coming off dominance with Steve Spurrier. Ridiculous. It's supposed to be an untold story, and it was recapping success and stroking the dicks of Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, I can understand. He's like the pillar of awesomeness. Urban Meyer,
he's the pillar of good. He is the pillar of good among all of the bad that was at Florida.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know how it came about, because Urban Meyer was interviewed, Tebow was interviewed, Brandon Spikes was their like middle linebacker who was really good.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he had a good part of it in his struggles to become a leader, that part was cool. But like, you want to hear that we heard about all this shit like pre-social media or early social media days of all this going on, and they just kind of like ignored it. It's just, I don't know. It kind of pissed me off because I hate Urban Meyer, and it just is another reason to say fuck Urban Meyer. So
I mean, to be honest, I found like I think I've seen a good portion of those Untolds, and like I mentioned this in the chat, like Untold feels like DreamWorks to like 30 for 30's Disney. Like they just don't feel like they are all encompassing like untold story type documentaries. They very much like reach surface area of a lot of stuff we already know. I mean, with the exception of a few. I think the Monte Teo one like really dug deep into that story,
I
and
thought
like
the Manziel one was good too, because a lot of that stuff. We knew Manziel was a partier and a fuck up in the NFL, but we didn't know like that he had a fourth string quarterback taking piss tests for him, or that he went on a bender.
But are we surprised by any of this?
No, but a lot of it was speculation, or we knew Johnny Manziel was partying. Now we saw pictures, videos, what actually was fucking going on with his buddy who was like his manager taking money to the autographs.
Yeah.
We
the
knew
oil rig or whatever. Yeah.
I didn't know that was fake. That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, well, there's some stuff that we knew here, and they went a little bit deeper for Johnny Manziel. So the clip of him saying, what, like his agent saying, what do you mean he doesn't watch any film? And they like talk back and forth, and then he just goes 0. It's hilarious.
iPad hours 0. Yeah.
After talking about it, love the editing. It was hilarious. But yeah, I thought like that was a little bit deeper, not as much as I would have liked, like, but it was a lot about Johnny's mental health and all that stuff and his battle, and
like it stopped after Cleveland. It didn't go into like CFL or like any.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Right. Yeah.
So
that's because he started to fall out of relevance once he left the NFL and he went to the CFL. People still watched him in the CFL, but he wasn't making headlines for any reason. He was just playing ball at that point.
It was just kind of like the contrast of, oh, we actually got some real truth to some of these stories and like behind the scenes look. And then we get this Florida one, and it's like, oh, hey, you remember how good Florida was? And it's like, you had the greatest quarterback of like the 2000s and possibly all time in college. Like, well, cool. I don't know.
There's like no investigative journalism. They weren't really diving into, or exposing anything that we already kind of knew. Yeah,
right. It's a multi-episode thing too. Like I think that's
3
their
or 4?
first multi-episode.
Oh, they had
thing
time. They had plenty. They had a huge content window if they wanted to rip some things open.
Yeah.
And so I mean, if you're a fan of it was good for like if you like sports and remembering that kind of time and hype that was going on. Great, but if you're
you can just turn on YouTube and watch old Florida games at that point. Then
just watch 30 for 30, guys. It's so much better.
But if you're really trying to look at like the deeper look at the untold stories, don't waste your time. Don't listen to Urban Meyer. He's a piece of shit.
So if the documentary wasn't called Untold, if it was just called Swamp Kings, would it have been better? Is a lot of your problems with the title Untold?
Partly, yeah, but also they only really covered Tebow, obviously, Urban Meyer and the stress that he was under, which only alludes to all of his health problems and why he retired and then went to Ohio State. Like, they touched on his stress levels and him having like his heart attack. Like they prefaced it, but then never went like, yeah, and this is why I stopped coaching, and then why I had to stop again, and not really the scandals that took place with him leaving Florida. I did kind of have a preconceived notion that I was going to hear more about this stuff because we know the characters that were on this team. And they didn't really highlight any of them, regardless, untold or not. Like the Pouncey twins were some of the best offensive linemen in college football at that time. Like they talked a lot about Percy Harvin, who was phenomenal. Brandon Spikes, Tim Tebow, and Urban Meyer. None of the other problems. I think they showed Cam Newton 2 or 3 times.
This doesn't even make me want to watch it.
I
remotely want to watch it.
I was very underwhelmed, because they didn't tell you anything. You didn't already know that Florida dominated the late 2000s.
Everybody knew that.
Right. So, and they didn't even cover, what happened after Tebow left. The fall from grace that Florida had. If they would have gotten even to that, I could have gotten behind it, but there's a lot left to be desired, is all I can put on it.
Fair enough. All right, let's shift gears. That was a sidebar that turned into all of the bars, the main bar. So I have a side question for Cory and anybody else, but it's for Cory. So Jonathan Taylor has voiced his opinions on wanting out. What is the best fit, and where do you think? Those are 2 separate questions. What is the best fit, or where is the best fit, and who do you actually think he's going to go to?
I think they just tag him. I'm not sure he leaves yet.
No,
I don't know.
The 2 teams that have popped up that have actually submitted offers to the Colts are the Philadelphia Eagles and the Miami Dolphins. And I don't know what Howie Roseman is going to do. He has picks, but Miami seems like
running back though.
And that's the biggest problem. Is you have a nice running back room. Why would you give it up to pay a ton of money to one player? Because he's going to want top dollar.
The only thing I could see is he comes here on a discount because he's got a chance to win a ring.
Yeah, could be.
But
I think Miami makes way more sense.
Miami makes the most sense to me. They actually need Raheem Mostert's 31 now.
Yeah,
and very injury prone.
Right, and then the Eagles just completely reconstructed their backfield. They're a run-heavy team anyway, but I don't think those 3 are going to be able to share. You have Jalen Hurts calling his own number for design runs too. I feel like there's not enough room. And then, if he's not the feature guy, there's no reason to pay him what he wants. And that's the whole reason he wants out, because he's not on a contender and he wants money.
I think the Bears could use him.
Yeah, I would say
I like the Bears is the best fit.
Because they're
get
not
another weapon for that offense. Take less off.
I can't see him wanting to do that. He played at Wisconsin.
That's true, but
you know how bad that would hurt Wisconsin fans?
Yeah. I could see the Bears. The Buccaneers are in dire need of a running back. I'm not sold at all.
So
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. So we do have some divisions to talk about. I know.
Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, we do got to talk about the AFC South.
Yes. So why don't we talk about the Colts as a whole then away?
Let's do it. Fuck it.
Who wants to start with the Colts? So we're doing our division previews. We are starting with the AFC South and the Indianapolis Colts. If anybody wants to take the reins on this, don't all shout at once.
Okay, I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Colts are in an interesting place right now. They've tried quite a few stopgaps since the leaving of Andrew Luck. None have really been successful, and now they have a new head coach in Shane Steichen, who's coming off great success as an offensive coordinator on the Super Bowl bound Philadelphia Eagles team. They drafted Anthony Richardson, who out of Florida, who looks like he has all the potential physical tools to really take off in this league, but he is a question. He is a project. The defense still has some pieces, but I don't like a ton of what their defense has to do. They lost Stephon Gilmore. They lost Paris Campbell. They lost one of their linebackers. I forgot his name. But they got to have a plan for Anthony Richardson. And if they don't, they're going to be drafting another quarterback maybe in a year's time. Mainly because I think Jim Irsay is a terrible owner and he'll just greenlit anything that could possibly happen. Like I could see them finishing either last in this division because Anthony Richardson just doesn't take that needed step forward, or they could surprise and finish like second behind the Jaguars.
I don't see them finishing anything other than last.
Really takes off. Like,
whoa!
The Texans,
the Texans are fucking awful.
I was gonna say
the Texans are really bad too, but this Indianapolis team is not good, especially if JT is out the door.
Texans have no talent though, and they have CJ Stroud, who
they don't have any talent. You said it right, Corey.
They at least have some like.
If Cisco's watching, you know damn well he's going to chirp in.
I'm just saying. Well, he's 0-2 against Michigan, and he hasn't made the college football he made the college football playoff loss.
That's next week.
Whatever.
Oh my god!
I think that's
but
next
so
week.
like, what?
Ignore your phones, boys.
All I'm saying is Anthony Richardson's like his floor, or his like, is probably higher than CJ Stroud's, considering what's around him. Who's the number one wide receiver for fucking the Texans?
That would be Nico Collins or Robert Woods.
They went out and got Robert Woods, and
which you can make the argument that it is.
And they have Dalton Schultz, so probably their number one guy is Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, this isn't the Kansas City Chiefs, man.
I'm just
Dalton
saying.
Schultz is not Kelsey. I'm just saying. In terms of weapons,
there's no talent there.
Who do you think?
They're going to turn into a run first team now because they have Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary. They have a decent offensive line. They have one of the best left tackles in the league. But I understand what you guys are saying, but I think their building blocks are way better than what the Colts building blocks are right now.
I disagree. I think the Colts defense is better. I like Pittman and Pierce. Better than
Alec
I
Pierce
like
is a very underrated wide receiver.
Yeah. JT, who I'm gonna operate that because he's on the team. I'm gonna operate that he's still on the team.
That's fair.
And sure, they probably. They have one of the best guards in the game. So like, I will take what Richardson's working with and his dynamic ability with his feet and his arm more than I will in the superstar of potential over CJ Stroud, who I hate with a fucking passion.
Which is fine. I understand your hate, and
I like the team Indianapolis hands around their rookie quarterback opposed to what the Texans have around their rookie quarterback.
See, I'd like to point something out real quick. We spent the better half of last football season, myself and Corey, battling you every single week because of two certain players, one of which that won offensive rookie of the year, and Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who had put together an incredible rookie season. Like, and so you are taking an Ohio State player just because you don't like Ohio State. No. I understand your hate for Ohio State. I understand that. What?
I like Garrett Wilson.
I don't know if that's true.
I like the Bosa brothers. I like the Bosa brothers.
Yeah, there's a lack of talent around CJ Stroud. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%. They both have rookie quarterbacks.
It's super young. I wouldn't say it's a lack of talent. I would say it's just a super young. No, it's just super young. Yeah, it's a lack of proven talent. That is a fact.
Nico fucking Collins. You know where he went to school? Michigan. I can tell you that. He ain't no number one wide receiver.
So they are bolstering two rookie wide receivers, one second-year player in Mechie. They have Tank Dell and Noah Brown. They have very high upside on both two players. Granted, we need to see what CJ Stroud looks like with arm talent before anything else. Yes, he has good legs and he can get out of situations, but we got to see if he can toss the ball downfield. Dameon Pierce is a great running back. I don't care what anybody says. He's going to have a breakout year this year as well. And they have deep pieces on the offensive line. They need to wrangle that in. They have a solid right guard in Shaq Mason, and they have one of the best left tackles. So his blind side is going to be protected. I think the pieces are there, but again, it's unproven talent. So I understand what you're talking about. Until they put stuff out onto the field, I understand why you are saying you want the Houston Texans to be spaced and last.
I'm not even saying it's unproven. Like Mechie, like you said, is basically a rookie because of Tank is also a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Nico Collins, who's never been in this number one or number two
going
role.
into his sophomore year. You just have a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, and then you have Robert Woods, who's fucking torn his ACL 12 times. He's not Robert Woods of the LA Rams. He's Robert Woods being 30 plus years old. I just don't see that how any of those guys, you can rely on any of them to be a safety net for a rookie quarterback, where Richardson
That's why Dalton Schultz
yeah.
is gonna have a breakout year this year, in my
Dalton
opinion.
Schultz will do good, but they'll
Yeah.
still go like
Yeah,
4
that's
and
it.
13.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, what's easier, to throw it to your tight end or to turn around and give it to the former rushing leader in the NFL? Like, Richardson has a much easier path of resistance than Stroud is in terms of growth and success. Because
And we're basing this off of that JT. It does not move. Correct.
If JT's on the team.
Okay,
Because
then yes,
Stroud,
I will slate the Texans in last place and put the Colts ahead of them.
I would
But if
say,
JT leaves, like,
Then
I
I
wouldn't
would
be
then
surprised if the
flip
Colts
that.
If
That's
JT leaves, I'd be a little scared.
I'm a little more skeptical. But at least
You trust Pittman more than trust Pittman and Pierce more than anybody that the Texans have to offer.
Correct.
Is basically
100%.
what you're saying.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
the defense, the comparison at defense is
It's
probably not even close. It's
Yeah.
not even close.
Yeah.
But I will say that I personally think the defensive rookie of the year is going to come off of the Texans. I think Will Anderson is going to run away with that. I think he's going to have a stud-like year.
I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. All right. So now, T-Bone, are we in agreement that we're putting the Houston Texans in last place? I'm guessing
Yeah,
that's a
I'm good.
unanimous yes.
Oh yeah.
if JT is not on the Indianapolis Colts,
Okay, current roster.
They're my last place team. Current roster, yes.
They'll
Okay.
tie for last.
Okay. And then T-Bone, where are you putting the Colts since we started with the Colts? Second.
Yes. I have it written down if you need.
I have a feeling I know who you have at number one. So does that mean, because I have a feeling
I think we all have the same team at
We
number
all have
one.
Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville at one?
Yeah.
They have the best roster top to bottom.
And every other team has
100%.
huge question marks.
Well, I mean, the Titans.
Not even that. You have Ryan Tannehill and 2 rookie quarterbacks going against Trevor fucking Lawrence.
Ryan
It's not
Tannehill's not
close.
going to make it past like
Yeah.
October. They're replacing him.
Will Levis. Do you think it's going to be Will Levis or Malik Willis? Do you think Malik Willis figures out how to play football?
No, it's
Malik Willis
it's
is
gonna be
more of a
Levis.
project. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
more
it's
run
Levis.
oriented.
Okay.
You
I
you
just
go
wanted
out
to-
and get DeAndre Hopkins. You want someone who can chuck it,
Yeah. So I mean,
albeit he's washed up. But
so
Just so we're clear, for me, I have the Jags, then I have the Colts, then I have the Titans, then I have the Texans.
God, that offensive line is
I'm
really
swapping
bad.
2 and 3.
That offensive line of Tennessee is really bad.
Yeah, I'm Jags,
It
Oh,
is,
yeah,
but you
Jags
still got-
won. Jags won.
Texans.
I'll
What
put
do you have
tight-
2-3, Tyler?
Sorry?
What do you have 2-3?
Jags 1, Titans 2, Colts 3, Texans 4. And Colts 3 is only relying on them keeping Jonathan Taylor.
Kyle?
Jags, Titans, Colts, Texans. Also,
you 3 are the same. All I did was flip flop 2-3.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's fine. Does this? How many years away from a Super Bowl? Maybe not a Super Bowl win, but representing the AFC are the Jags away?
2.
You think 1 year, Corey?
1.
2. The
Why do you?
AFC's still
Why do you,
hot.
like what? Like, I
don't
understand
think-
the
I don't think
offensive
that-
side of the ball. I understand the offensive side of the ball, but what on defense makes you think that?
They held it down the stretch. I mean, especially, and if you want to give the credit to the Chargers for just pulling off a complete joke job, that's fine too. But, that's a team that can get into a shootout. The Chiefs have never had an elite defense. They've had a decent front seven. The secondary has been torn up forever. And by no means am I comparing those two offenses, but that's a deep wide receiving core. I'd say that is, it's either the Jaguars or the Bengals that have the deepest wide receiving cores in the entire league right now from top to bottom.
I mean, I think it's clear I think the Bengals are number 1.
With a bullet too.
I mean, their 1, 2, 3 is fucking unmatched. Like,
Uh-huh.
Their 3 can be a number 1 in places. But I mean, Christian Kirk had a huge year last year.
He's just Mr. Consistent. He's going to hover around 1,000 yards. He's probably going to lose some output because Calvin Ridley's back and he's got fresh legs. But I think you could argue that they have 3 wide receiver ones there. Zay Jones was no scrub it was Oakland at the time, I'm pretty sure. No, it was Vegas when he was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you have Evan Ingram, who was a top 5 tight end down the stretch. ETN can also catch out of the backfield. I mean, that's a lot of weapons for a guy under center who we've been watching under spectacles since he was 14. So
And I
there's a lot of
think what's
talent.
crazy is that he takes another step forward this year. I think Trevor Lawrence
100%.
could be launched near. I don't think he
But-
will win it, but I think he's going to be around the MVP conversation this year.
Oh, yeah.
but is he going to overtake Mahomes? No. Do we
No,
think
that's
he's
not
gonna
what I'm saying.
No, I know. But
Can he win a game? Can he win one game against Kansas City? Yes. You can't count out this
Not-
Jags team. They took them.
I know. I'm not saying that, but you have to look with who he's got to compete with to even get to the AFC Championship game.
Oh yeah,
you're
this is
assuming
tough.
he has to go through either Mahomes, Burrow, or Allen
Correct.
to even get to the AFC Championship game. Now,
Are those the four best teams though? Are those the four best
probably.
teams?
100%.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
So that would be if we got the perfect world, that would be our final four in the AFC.
which is a fucking great.
That would be a
divisional round.
fantastic weekend.
No complaints.
The AFC West just fell out of the sky. I know that's not what this is about, but I feel like even last year, people would argue that a team out of the AFC West is top 4 or 5 over the entire South.
Yeah, but hey, right now you're saying the Jags are kind of up there.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
the Jags are right up
hear
there
what
with
you're
them.
saying. No,
Okay.
I agree, but I still think the Jags are 4th, and you're banking on. Now, I think he can do it. It's not that I doubt Trevor Lawrence. It's just now he has to make the next step. He made step 1 from 2. Doug Peterson, great for him. I think that's very clear. Urban Meyer kicking players did nothing.
Poor Riley.
Let me ask you this, theoretical. If Doug Peterson was Trevor Lawrence's rookie coach, where is he at? Trevor Lawrence.
3 or 4
Top
more
5.
wins, maybe.
Top 5.
I'm saying him personally.
like where he is now.
Development-wise, I think he's a
Top
lot
5.
better.
Yeah.
I think he's top 5
I
right
think
now.
you're going into last year saying he could make a jump to flirt with the MVP.
Yeah.
Last year,
he
how
would-
we're talking now.
Yeah. We would have had this conversation last year. I think he would be a
So
top
year
5
behind
quarterback.
in
I think
development?
I think all
Yeah,
of the top
he's
5
stunned down.
quarterbacks, I think all of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL at that point, if that's what your situation is,
Yeah.
would all be coming out of the AFC.
You can
Because
probably argue that
I
now,
slot
right?
I slot Jalen Hurts out then.
I would.
Because I have Hurts sitting at 5 in the top 5 quarterbacks.
I mean, you have the 3 those 4, right?
Yep.
And then Hurts.
And then Hurts.
At
I would be
five.
putting
I'm
him
sorry.
in top
I'm
5.
sorry. I'm putting Rodgers at 5. I have to.
No, I respect
Yeah,
that. That's fine.
Yeah,
I respect that.
I mean,
That's there's not
just
there's
looking for the
at
teams.
that 5 spot, 4, 5 spot, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can slot almost any name, any
Yeah.
of those
Oh,
4
like
names,
Nathan
and
Peterman.
I have
Yeah.
no problem
think-
with it.
I think Hurts. I think Hurts is, you have his more upside with his legs,
Mhm.
but Herbert's arm I think is.
Oh, the arm
leaps and
talent.
bounds
It's
better.
not
Unbelievable.
It's not comparable.
Not that Jalen Hurts throws the ball bad. I'm not saying that. Like,
He just
But
doesn't
yeah.
have the arm. He doesn't have
Yeah,
the arm.
he doesn't have
power.
the strength.
Herbert has
Probably
He doesn't have the
argue-
strength.
Yeah.
you could
The
probably
Super Bowl
argue
proved that.
that 8 of the top quarterbacks, or sorry, the top 10 quarterbacks, 8 of them are in the AFC, if not 9. Like, well, it's just
Yeah, because who are top 10 quarterbacks in the NFC other than Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts and
Dak.
you could make maybe Kirk is number 10.
Yeah.
Like
you
maybe.
should argue you probably should argue for Kirk just because of his consistency and all that stuff, but
I mean, did you asked?
no
I'm
one
sorry,
in
I
our
took my
NFC
headset off
South.
for a
Like
second.
we can transition this in,
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of into the NFC and then into the NFC.
Are we just
South.
done with the AFC South then? Just to
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we
Okay,
kind of
Yeah.
talked it over. So if we're gonna start,
It's
looking
hard
at
to talk
quarterbacks,
about these two
Yeah,
divisions,
like-
man. They're rough.
You got the Commanders at who God knows was it Howell?
Howell.
Howell's announced.
Sam Howell.
How?
No, Danny Dimes. Top,
no.
top 20, but no, not where we're
15.
looking.
Not
He took a big step
Yeah.
forward.
I would say 15. I know these.
And
two
now
fucking
he's gonna
hate
take
him.
a
I would
Is
step
say
back.
Dak
top
the
15.
question then? Like,
No, fuck Dak. Absolutely, I'll take Danny Dimes over Dak. 100%.
Yeah, Dak threw 15 picks last year.
what about
Yeah.
Goff?
Goff
Maybe,
Goff had a really
maybe.
good resurgence.
Goff
That
and
was like his
Cousins
second
are
or
probably
third best
right
year.
there. Goff
Like,
and
So are we
Goff
talking
at
top
10,
NFC?
I
Are we
wouldn't be
talking top
No.
what? How many
10.
NFC quarterbacks?
10.
Top 10
No,
NFC
no,
quarterbacks?
No. We're saying.
Oh, Goff.
I,
I would say Goff is the closest to flirting with 10.
him or Cousins, I'm saying, are probably right there. If you said Cousins is 12 or 13, I'm not going to freak out.
I would take Goff over Cousins today.
I would take in their systems. I don't know. I think you could. I think
Cousins
you could
has more at his
flip-flop both of them.
disposal.
Goff could succeed in either system, either of the two
I think
systems
Goff can-
between
is
Minnesota.
so
and-
good Cousins.
Better in
I
big
mean,
games,
they
too.
both have-
Like,
I don't think Cousins succeeds in Detroit, but I think
Oh, I
Goff
do- I
can
do.
succeed in Minnesota.
oh, yeah.
I mean,
with Justin
they both
Jefferson,
have
absolutely.
number 1 wide receivers in Jefferson and Amon-Ra. They both. I mean, granted, now Goff doesn't have Hawkinson, who's in Minnesota.
Which
I
would be
think-
his safety blanket.
I mean, but the safety blanket for Goff is probably the multitude of running backs. Granted, he's a rookie, but they also got was it
Monty.
Montgomery. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like, I think
It's a completely different running back room.
They just
100%.
destroyed it.
After not being that bad either.
No.
Jamal Williams set a rushing touchdown record, and
DeAndre Swift was just hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they said goodbye to both of you.
I think both of them, like, they're both high-powered offenses with good weapons. I think both of the quarterbacks are similar enough where they're flirting with that 10 to 12 range. But I don't know. Like,
I don't know if
no,
anybody.
Purdy, no. Kyler, fuck no.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and tell me if I'm wrong. I think there's one question mark in the NFC South. Is there any quarterback here that is above top 20 in the league?
Carr.
I was going to say that's the only.
Got to be Derek Carr. That's it. I mean, Ritter's
Because
unproven. Baker, it's his last chance.
I say he's at 20. He's probably
that's my point.
20,
that's how bad this NFC South is, and there's no like who's the best player in the NFC South? The best player, offense, defense, special teams.
Mike Evans.
The problem is it won't look like
Kamara.
Kamara when he's on the field,
or even like Lattimore.
Defense, though, you got Calais Campbell in Atlanta.
Vita Vea,
Brian Burns over in North Carolina or in Carolina.
It's Brian Burns.
It's probably Brian Burns, right?
Yeah. That's who I would pick.
It's gonna be Bijan.
Oh,
it could be, but not that fast. And now with that, I mean, the only thing you're going to see is Bijan's going to catch a lot of balls out of the backfield because.
Would you guys rather have Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr?
What's up?
Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Really?
Baker's got amazing raw talent. Did you see that last year? He chucked the ball like 70 yards.
Raw talent doesn't get the job done. Though.
Exactly.
Okay, but he got the fucking Browns to the playoffs.
Once.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's about to do that this year.
It took Kevin Stefanski, who also brought freaking Case Keenum to the playoffs.
I was going to say, that Browns team wasn't that bad. Like,
I'm not saying they are, but I think Mayfield takes a lot of flack that was undeserved. I think Mayfield is better than most people would give him credit.
He is the number one overall pick, though, so I would definitely say he's not what he was supposed to be. But he's not bad.
Correct. But in terms of us ranking, saying he's a 25 to 30 quarterback, I think is bullshit. Granted,
the fact that it was
beat out by Kyle Trask. So
I was going to say the fact that it was that much of a competition.
It shouldn't
between the two.
Kyle Trask was sitting behind Tom Brady,
which means Kyle Trask should have won the job, and they should have never brought Baker in. They should have brought somebody to
last
sit
chance.
It is
a phenomenal wide receiver room to work with.
When he went to LA, he looked good in LA. He didn't look bad.
He randomly won a game on like 3 days' notice.
It was ridiculous. It was so much fun to watch. Like,
is
this the Baker I like.
Is this the first year that Mike Evans doesn't eclipse 1,000 yards?
Nope. My boy Mike Evans, I've got hammered with that guy. He's a fucking G.
I think Godwin's the one now.
I think it's Godwin. I think Mike Evans drops
about
below
to turn 31, is he not?
Something like that. He's had 1,000-yard
receiver.
Yeah, he's had 8 1,000-yard seasons.
Mike Evans is that player that, like, even though he has 1,000-yard seasons, I feel like he never actually gets what I need out of him in a fantasy league.
Like, he also barely got there last year. Like, he had a ridiculous performance in the final
week. I think he had like 1,031 or something.
And his last game, he almost had 200 yards.
most underwhelming 1,000-yard receiver in fantasy.
Okay,
I think
relax.
Okay.
The guy has done shit that no one has ever done before. He's literally on pace. He's looking to break the record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Don't start disrespecting this man.
Okay.
I'm just saying fatigue and age is a thing. You know?
Sorry, in 2020, he had 1,006 yards.
Dude, he's skating
21,
by.
he had 1,035 yards.
Jesus Christ.
Last year, he had 1,124.
You know what that was? That was Tom Brady going, buddy, you're going to get a bonus if we get you 1,000, aren't we?
Also, even more of a fun fact, in 2017, he had 1,001.
Skating by.
Okay. So
these are
he's
those
not going to do it. But he doesn't have Tom Brady this year. I don't think so.
No, he's going to do it.
This is week 18 when Fox puts that graphic up and says Mike Evans will make an extra $500,000 if he gets 71 yards today. And the offense is like, well, we're not going to make the playoffs anyway.
So that's
dude, anybody could win this division.
You go to the sports book and you put everything you can on that motherfucker's over, and or like alternate line over 100 yards, and you just hammer it because he's going to catch like 8 balls for 102 yards in like a quarter and a half.
Yep.
Like,
all right. Let's
so
talk.
Where do you think these guys finish? How about that?
I'm going Falcons.
See. So wait. Where are we putting Tampa?
Over the Saints?
Who's number one?
Saints.
Who's number one? Saints.
Tampa.
What? Are you high?
What?
Last to first? Is this the
Okay,
last to
here
first
comes us going completely different on this one. I'm saying the Saints for number one.
I'm Saints too.
Corey?
I have the Saints. I know we're not giving out like records and stuff. We'll talk about that when we do our NFL preview, and we
What
do
is
our
this?
ranking. We do rankings where we do our tiers. I personally have. God, this is not easy.
Read off what you got, Saints.
Mine's gonna be a surprise, and nobody's gonna talk me off of this. Panthers number 2.
God, you're so ugly.
No.
Tampa number 3. Atlanta number 4. I think I'd rather take the upside of Bryce Young in that offense over what I think I'm going to see against Atlanta and Tampa. We know what Baker's going to give you. He's inaccurate at times. A lot of times he has the talent, so he has no excuses now. And so if he doesn't get it done, like Cory has said, I think 3 or 4 times now, this is his last shot. This is it. And if he gets benched, if he gets benched for Kyle Trask, I think it's going to be a shit show in Tampa. And I think they're going to be near probably bottom 5 in the NFL.
I like Tampa. Tampa's going to win it.
So, and I think unless Tyler has his premonition about the Atlanta Falcons again, I have Atlanta and Tampa fighting for last place there, but I have Atlanta coming in last.
All right. Tyler, who do you got? You got New Orleans?
Tampa.
Thank you.
Just because I think they have the most pieces and Baker is the most proven quarterback. I still think they're like quite a step below the Saints, but
it should be.
Like I don't think Tampa's fighting with the Saints for first, but like I think they're like a very clear second. And then I think the Panthers and the Falcons are like fighting for last place.
Corey, what do you got? Give me your Corey, what about you? Give me your 4.
Yep. I'm going Atlanta. By the end of the year, there will be no debate. There will be no debate that Bijan Robinson is the best player by far in that division. He is the best prospect we've seen since Saquon Barkley, and he might be better. Yeah.
And what has Saquon Barkley done for the Giants? Like,
won a playoff game last year, asshole.
And then got overused and was hurt every year. They finally realized you can't give a dude the ball 30 times after he tore his ACL.
Oh, what did he do? Lead his team to a fucking playoff?
So you're saying the Falcons are going to win the division?
It's going to be ugly. I mean, it's going to be 9 wins, 8 or 9 wins. That's going to be a horrible division. I mean, we can all agree on that.
Yeah, who do you got for number 2?
I'll go Saints. There's just a lot of unknowns there. I think they're going to be up there, but if Michael Thomas gets hurt for the 6th year in a row, whatever it is now.
They're not even counting on Thomas.
That's already bad. Yeah, I mean, you don't even account for him, really. Chris Olave is obviously a stud. T-Bone can agree with that. Just kidding. But, I mean, you have the unknowns with Alvin Kamara. Okay, he's out for the first couple of weeks. Jamal Williams is not really a 3-down back. We're at the 2 and we need to punch it in. So I feel like the first 3 weeks could really hurt them. You've got a new quarterback, obviously. No knock on Derek Carr, but he's dealing with an injury-prone wide receiver 1 who we can throw out of the equation. Alvin Kamara is not going to be there for 3 weeks. And you know how this stuff goes. That could expand to 8 before we know it. Like it's tentatively 3 weeks right now.
I have a random, a thought. So I'm looking at their depth chart right now. They have Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and then Shaheed. And Traquan Smith. Is there a world where their rookie 6th round pick, he's 6'5", I think, out of Purdue, A.T. Perry, is there a way that he slides into that third receiving spot?
Yeah.
He's long, he's got speed. I think he's honestly great to pair with Chris Olave and Michael Thomas.
Well,
would that actually be a capable receiving core then?
Michael Thomas won't be on the field and Chris Olave sucks balls, but I think he could definitely play it. Just there's going to be opportunity for this guy, like just early on with so many guys being either hurt or suspended or whatever. You got to imagine he's at least going to get some. Like we know the Saints, you think with like they're going to throw the ball. You assume that they're not.
Mm-hmm. You can't run the ball with Jamal every single time because for the first 3 weeks?
3. Right now it's 3. Yep.
So you don't have Kamara for the first 3 weeks.
Correct.
So it's going to be.
Speaking of that, Jamal Williams might be a massive fucking like sleeper pick for your first couple.
First 3 weeks.
You're getting a starting running back.
I know, but but then you flip him to whoever has Kamara after, and then even if Kamara sucks, he's still
your goal line guy. That's why they got him.
Yeah. So, but
you're getting touchdowns.
He was viable. He had like 16 fucking touchdowns last year. He was still viable as the backup.
Which is why I'm selling on Kamara. Not taking him unless I have.
I'm not. I won't touch him. I don't care. I won't touch him. I don't care if he's sitting
He's
there
burned
last
me
round.
in the past.
I mean,
too.
if he's
He
if
burns
he's in
me
like,
every year.
if he's in like round 13, yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, 100%.
I was gonna say if it's anything later than the ninth round.
There's a certain point where the value is like this is just too good, even if he's a shell of himself.
Right.
Like the chance of him being Kamara of old is
low.
ridiculous. Corey, before we get off, you said Atlanta, New Orleans.
Yeah, then it's going to be the Buccaneers. You know, there's
okay,
opportunity there, but I feel like if Baker loses this job halfway through the year, which I think it's a coin toss right now, you know, it's still Godwin and Evans, but Evans north of 30, I'm pretty sure. Russell Gage is out for the year, so we'll see what Trey Palmer's got. And the run game is abysmal. They straight up stopped running the ball last year. Like the last 5 or 6 games, they just didn't run it. Whether it was Rashad White or Leonard Fournette when he was healthy, they passed the ball more than anybody else, and it didn't work well with, you know, a 44-year-old Tom Brady, but I don't think Baker Mayfield's going to be much of an upgrade.
Okay, so one last question for you, since you are our Chicago fan.
Mhm.
I guess if you guys want to, I will have a second question. But my first question is I guess it's 2 parts. Where do you see the Bears finishing in the NFC North?
Oh, in the NFC North. Third.
Okay, and then are you buying or selling stock on Justin Fields this season?
I'm holding. Like, I think he'll stay around where he was. He gets another wide receiver. Tevin Jenkins has been hurt the last couple years. Now he's hurt again. He's somehow strained both of his calves in one practice.
That's very Carson Wentz of him.
But we have Darnell Wright now. You know, DJ Moore is a solid.
He's
I would
hurt
say
too,
top
I think.
25.
He is also hurt, yeah.
Darnell
Yeah.
Wright's hurt too.
Yeah, so that's, you know, I'm kind of holding. He's probably going to be around the same situation he was last year, but he has more feasible weapons. Darnell Mooney has never been a wide receiver 1, and now he gets to play a 2/3. He can be in the slot. Yeah, I think Justin Fields has more success through the air, and they probably don't let him run it as much. I mean, when you're 23 years old and you're getting freaking massaged on the hamstrings because you're cramping in the third quarter, that's not a good sign.
No.
But yeah, I'm holding.
No, it's not.
So, T-Bone, we haven't talked baseball in a while. Do we have time for baseball, or are you guys ready to
we
ball?
can get into it a little bit. You know, we're actually at a good time. You know, I thought we'd be well over an hour and a half. We're still a little bit away from that.
So I think we have a little baseball in us, and then I'm going to get up because I have yet to eat dinner yet.
Same.
And I am very, very hungry.
That would be a problem. Yeah, like I fucking
So would
said,
you guys
the Chicago Cubs are fucking back.
They're going to the playoffs.
I said
second
it,
spot
and
right
you
now.
guys laughed. I know. I love
They can
it.
go to the playoffs, but they're not taking the division.
Yeah, they're only 3 games back.
That's fine, but the Brewers are hot right now.
So are the Cubs. The fuck?
And the Cubs have offense.
Let me just. Okay, yeah.
Have
yeah,
offense. That's your defense against
Freaking
me?
Willie Adames is like their best bat right now outside of Christian Yelich, and he's batting. What is he?
Sal's batting well. Most of the
Sal Frelick is your fucking superstar. Oh my god.
Jesus
yeah, you're
Christ.
really gonna rely on Sal Frelick.
I
Yeah.
really don't
I
like
don't lick
this.
my
That
balls.
it's me,
It's the
one
starting
Brewer
rotation.
fan
That's why
that's
they had
not as
70
knowledgeable
wins.
about baseball is fighting 2 Cubs fans. This is a very unfair advantage. Where's Ryan
Hey,
when
I
I need
will
him?
called this
say-
before the.
Where's
before,
Ryan when I need him?
I called this before the fucking.
No, you
right,
did.
like I called
you
it,
did.
and then they ran like 8 in a row, and I said we're fucking back, and we're
That's
back.
fine. And the Brewers are on a 5-game winning streak right now. They
The
won
Brewers
again
are
today.
phenomenal, but it is because of their pitching. Like the bats woke up the last
And that's
couple of days, but it's because you
Mhm.
have one of the best starting rotations out there. You know, outside of
They're
if
going to
Yelly
be
was
in every
not
game.
turning
They're
back
gonna
the
be in every
clock,
game.
it'd be bad.
They're going to be in every game against every team not
It
named
will
the
be in
Atlanta
every.
Braves.
That's fair.
Not named the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, because you know you can't beat the Atlanta Braves, but you know the Cubs took the series against the Atlanta
That's
Braves.
true.
So, you know,
They took
they'll
2 of 3.
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, do it again. You got to do it again in October.
Actually, it doesn't matter. That means we'll be in the playoffs. All I have to do is win the games.
Oh, you just want to make the play.
Hey, I just can't wait. Yeah, because the last couple years we were fucking sellers. Yeah, I just want to be there. I want to be in the hunt, even if we collapse. Guess what?
Are they
we're coming back with
re-signing
next
Belly?
year? Belly and Shohei Ohtani. Good fucking night next year.
I can see it's a big market. I think he goes to LA, but
Yeah,
Because
like
you got a budget $90 million for Ohtani and Belly. Belly around 25 and about 65 for fucking Ohtani.
who else
see,
are
they
you
better re-sign
signing?
Belly because if they don't, we get absolutely nothing now, and there was no point
had-
in doing what we did at the
If they
deadline.
get Belly and
Oh,
miss on
they
Ohtani,
should have
it's
traded at
okay.
the deadline.
Who? No.
We're in the playoffs now.
We literally got the best bet on the market. when a week prior we were sellers
on a
and
prove
then
it
we
deal.
bought the best bat. Who
Yeah,
used
we're
to-
only
Well,
paying
it was supposed
18
to be a
mil to
prove
do
it
this.
deal because him and Yelich were very on a downward spiral, and
Yeah.
both of
and he
them.
proved it.
Granted, Belly has had a much better like comeback, but I
mean,
mean,
if you-
both players, Yelly and Belly, have been playing.
Take away the fucking Atlanta Braves with Matt Olson hitting almost 90 bombs and fucking
Acuna,
Ronald
yeah.
Acuna. Belly is probably the MVP.
Freddie Freeman, maybe.
I would still put
Close,
Freddie
Freddie
Freeman
close,
up
right?
there.
It'd be
He's
a
up
no,
there.
no,
though.
he's
He's
like
in the
top two,
conversation
definitely,
though.
He's in the
I
top
get what you're
top
saying.
four.
He's in
Yeah.
the conversation.
It's ridiculous, his revival. But no, I think if you're the Cubs, you're gonna try to re-sign Belly and you're gonna go after Ohtani because they have a track record of bringing in Japanese-born players in Kosuke Fukudome. They had another guy. Well, Darvish was here. I know that was a big
Yeah,
time.
but now we got Seiya.
Yep. So I was gonna say Suzuki now. We got Kosuke a couple years ago. Darvish came and complimented the Cubs on the culture. Like Japanese born player, like that means something to those guys. Like having a culture that they like, that's why Seattle kind of is always in the market for them
They got a
because of
pipeline,
Ichiro.
yep.
Like the Cubs have one. Angels are still there. But I mean, if you can budget $90 million for Belly and Ohtani, I think it's a win. Like I'm okay with playing Bellinger $25 million a year. Over
Oh
4
yeah,
years.
we're paying him 18 now, and he's blowing expectations out of the water.
So, and as long, even if they re-sign Belly and miss on Ohtani, I don't think it's a failure for the Cubs by any stretch.
yeah,
because-
they need arms though. Like they need a starting rotation because Stroman's on a player option. So what is it next year? It's Justin Steele, Jamison Tyone, who's hit or miss this year. He's
Second
not what we
half
paid
better.
for, but
The second half,
And-
he's proving. Yep.
Hendricks will be
But-
gone in a couple years, I think, and
But-
then
But if
Then
Hendricks
what?
is your fourth starter during the year, that's okay.
oh yeah,
Like they still need one more bat or one more arm.
Cade Horton. Wait, 2 years, maybe 1 year.
I'm good. I'm good with Wicks as well. Jordan Wicks.
Yeah, Wicks was good,
So
or Shohei.
the Brewers, you guys got one good guy in your fucking farm system. Granted, he's like the second best prospect.
Jackson.
Well, actually, I don't know where he is now with Cruz and Skeens being up there.
I
'cause know
think
they're
he's
top five.
still top 10.
Because it's still Holiday at 1. I would say Jackson should be in the top 5. He's a great fucking player.
He might still be 2, and then I know it's Skeens, then Cruz, and then beyond that, I'm not sure. But
And then
Those
I
are
think
3,
it might
4.
be Wyatt for the Rangers.
yeah,
Maybe. I don't keep up with the prospects that much, but Skeens is already in AA. He might be fucking pitching in the pros.
after throwing
this
4
year.
innings, yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
speaking of, since we're on baseball, did you see that the Angels brought up their first round pick this year? He's already in the big leagues.
I mean, what do the
Their
Angels
first
have to
baseman.
lose, right?
Ohtani.
That's yeah. Well, he's already gone, so
And somehow not Trout
He's
over
already
all of these
ticked.
years.
Oh god,
But-
what a waste of what is there?
Mike
Okay,
Trout.
last question. Is there a bigger waste? Now, fuck you guys for saying what I think you're gonna say and saying Aaron Rodgers. But is there a bigger waste of prime talent than the Angels and Mike Trout?
You can't say Aaron Rodgers because the Packers
I know
won
what
a
you
title.
would say.
No,
I know,
you can't
but
say
you guys
Aaron
would be like,
Rodgers.
"Oh, Aaron Rodgers only won one Super Bowl in 15 years."
bigger
Phillip
I know
waste
that
Rivers,
of
fucking
maybe?
work.
It was almost Stafford though.
Phillip
bigger
Rivers.
waste of talent.
Rivers, really.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin and Barry. Barry.
Calvin and Barry.
I don't know if you could say Rivers just because he was never considered elite. Stafford was like the guy coming out of college.
Reggie
Barry
Miller?
Sanders. Yeah,
Mm,
that's it for me.
ooh.
Dame so far.
Dame's a good one.
But just superstar like elite generational players. Trout before.
I'm going with
Zion
Dame.
Williamson.
I'm saying
I just
Dame.
want to know, like, how are you still a general manager of the Los Angeles Angels when you have literally the 2 best players in baseball? Well, for the longest
Almost.
time, Ohtani, number 1, and Trout, who was considered the second best player.
How
or
do
the
you not
best.
surround them with pitching? I mean, who have they had for starting pitching the last 10 years? Jared Weaver? Like they've had nobody, right?
No.
No, they had the
had
one guy
nobody.
that died off drugs.
They had Skaggs. Yeah, Tyler
Yeah.
Skaggs was okay.
He was
But
good.
in general, like the rotation's been abysmal. The bullpen's been okay, but when
And
you're
then they
consistently
o-
giving up
yeah.
6 runs,
And
yeah.
then they overspend on. Well, I think they would still consider Pujols a win that contract when they signed him.
They got royally screwed by him. They won
Yeah,
like
but
one
he-
playoff game,
I know. Well, I know.
and he had
But
like
then
5 down years.
Then they also played. They also paid Rendon. Like they.
Rendon was horrible. Yeah,
But so they sign players who are ass, and then you can't surround him with good pitching. I think the wasting of Mike Trout's talent is one of the biggest what ifs in fucking sports.
That's horrible. Yeah, I
Like-
mean, he's the face of baseball for the last 10 years.
But he's also not very marketable. Not in a
That's
negative
baseball's fault. I feel like in general, like unless you're literally a Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout. It's hilarious, right? Best player in the MLB the last, what would you say, almost 10 years?
10 years.
You could go up to a random person on the street, say, "Who's LeBron?" We know. Who's Steph Curry? We know. Who's Tom Brady? Who's Aaron Rodgers? We know. Who's Mike Trout? I have no clue.
Yeah, it's sad. It's bad.
It is bad. It's marketing though, because like ratings have been down. Shohei and Ellie De La Cruz.
Our
those guys
ratings
have
down this
provided.
year? Our ratings down this year?
Now they're up. They're up again.
I was gonna say I would
But,
think
like,
they
over the
were
course
up.
of the last 10 years, it's been like
Oh, I was gonna say I think the change, and a lot of people
Pitching-
were worried about the
pitch clock
pitching
has been
change.
phenomenal.
A lot of people, you still have the diehards that are like, you're messing with the game, but you're gonna have that no matter what change you make.
yeah.
I think it's great for baseball. It makes it more enjoyable to watch on TV at least. But I mean, there's nothing like going to a ballpark.
I saw something on Twitter, and they were talking about. I'm gonna pull up the tweet. I have it here. They were talking about some guy at Valdosta State got kicked off the team because he wouldn't conform to team rules. Whatever, and people were saying they use the Yankees as the example of like conforming because the no shaving, cut your hair. But the Yankees have sucked.
Okay.
And someone was making the argument like
hazing.
you gotta let not even the hazing, but like letting players like express themselves, specifically baseball players.
Okay.
And they're like, well, no, like the Yankees are the pillar of success, and I'm like, they haven't won shit in 20 years.
No.
Yeah.
Like conformity does not mean you're gonna win.
The Yankees
Like-
are basically the Cowboys of the baseball world.
I was
now.
just gonna say that. It's
Yeah.
been
That's what it is.
it's been a while.
I mean, I fully get the whole buying in, like, hey, we're gonna do this for the culture. That's I'm cool with. But there's a line between like being expressive and being disrespectful. And I think baseball, they try to fuck with that line so often.
Oh, they dance it all the
if
time.
you pimp a home run, oh, you're an asshole for pimping it. Don't throw the ball down the middle, dumbass. Like, if you get just nuked 480 to dead center, I'm gonna be like, fuck you. Oh,
Or if the
bitch.
umpire's blind for an at bat and you question them, you're out of the game.
Angel
See you tomorrow.
Hernandez,
Right.
Yep.
get him out.
Mhm.
But I'm just like,
Electronic strike zone. Sorry, that's a different debate, but
That we are not starting that debate tonight.
No.
I don't know if we have enough time.
That's
for
a
appeal.
whole-
that.
They're
the
doing it in the
whole thing.
minors.
They are.
and people are saying the teams that have focused on the more development and watching baseball, they like younger hitters are more patient now more than ever because if the ball's outside, they just don't take it, and it's not a judgment call anymore. It's a fucking ball.
Yeah.
If it's this far off, it's a fucking ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard that, and I'm just curious. Like, do you think conforming like the Yankees, does that really benefit them? Oh, you have to be clean shaven and have a nice hair.
I think it destroys personality. Like the whole reason outside of the pitch clock, right? The game is sped up, I believe, by like 25 minutes. Last I checked, is fluctuating. Outside of that, it's Ellie De La Cruz, who's a physical specimen. It's Shohei Ohtani, who we haven't seen anything like since Babe Ruth, so no one has
Ronald
lived to see it.
Acuna, Jazz
And Ronald
Chisholm
Acuna.
I mean, Chisholm from last year, very boisterous, like has a great personality. Like
It's all guys who stand out, right? Like
Yeah.
whether it's with their play or their personalities. Like Amir Garrett got so many freaking clicks. Everybody who knew who he was. Same with Javier Baez. You could say what you want about the lack of production the last few years, but people wanted to watch him fail, and as a result, the MLB made more money.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think baseball is only good when you have like legit, like rival, and it's so regional based. But I think it can be so much better. Just they do such a bad. I mean, we've had the guy on, but my friend Matt, who's done content for the MLB, their content is so bad in terms of like distribution because you can't market it. It's just it's weird, like because they could really they hire these great content creators to make great pieces, but they won't let guys like Trevor May, who's a Twitch streamer and who I've met before at like TwitchCon, who wants to like do stuff in the field. And they started doing it, you know, having guys mic'd up when they're at first or something. I think that's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So
the Freddie Freeman clip is still incredible to me.
oh, there's a wind, boys. We're right. There's a wind.
There's
Or,
wind.
yeah,
There's
or like
wind.
when him and Rizzo got into like the chase down or whatever.
Frederick.
Like, yeah, Frederick. Yeah, it's like I think bringing like personality, obviously, to the baseball world is good. And
Yep.
I just hope they continue it. It's just, I think I hate the Yankees, but like the whole conform because it's our way. It's fucking outdated. It's dumb. Like, express yourself. Like,
Yeah, Rob Manfred needs to sit down in the next couple of weeks and just watch the Little League World Series.
100%.
The interviews, they do constant interviews that have nothing to do with baseball because we know every freaking stat. We have access to it, but it's all about like the storytelling, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, and the personalities. You're finding out that Big Al hits dingers and loves pepperoni pizza.
I
like
love Big Al.
that may have nothing to do with the game, but guess what? Big Al went viral, and we still know about him like 8 years later.
Yep.
They need to do more of that.
Cody Bellinger hit a walk-off in the Little League World Series in 2012.
Yep.
On that note, Tyler, you got anything you need to get off your chest?
No,
You've been sitting there quiet for a little
No,
while.
yeah, I'm not the world's biggest baseball fan, but I mean, what I do know is like I think baseball's been the game that's been the slowest to adapt over time. So like the pitch clock is great. I'm all for electric strike zones because I think taking the human element out of the game can work to speed it up and actually work it to make it more fair. I never really considered the Yankees thing about how it's like kind of taking out personality. Kind of reminded me of the Patriot way. You know, back in the Tom Brady era, where like if you're winning, it works. But if you're on a slump like the Yankees supposedly are, people aren't going to buy into it much anymore. And the NFL and the NBA have greatly embraced player personality and celebrations and stuff like that. Maybe it's time for baseball.
Because I mean, the Yankees have had one of the top 5 baseball players of the last 5 years in Aaron Judge. Like,
I know him.
Right.
Sorry,
I mean,
exactly.
a lot of people outside of him being what 6'7",
I know that
6'8", people. Like,
I know Shohei Ohtani too.
yeah, like people don't know Aaron Judge before they know Shohei, and I'm not saying they should. Shohei is such an international person, but like I think it's because of the kind of the clean cut. Oh, we're the Yankees. It's just furthering that disconnect of like being a fucking person. Like
I was gonna say, like the reason that fans love different sports is because the relatability, especially like basketball especially, and why it's gaining a lot of momentum is that you see something that Steph Curry does or something that like a jump shot, like a lot of people think I can go do that, I can be like that, and then you start seeing more viral videos in the era of social media, and you start seeing that they're people, they do a lot of the stuff that we do, like they play video games. Hey, I play video games, that's relatable. I like this guy a little
Anthony
bit more.
Edwards plays Call of Duty with like Mike Conley. Yep.
Yeah.
Like every man's sport. Like most people can make a jump shot, whereas very few people can hit a home run, throw a pass 70 yards,
make insane catches, stuff like that,
and
one-handed catches.
plus
But
it's
everybody's
just like
trying to do
faster, like more exciting things happen at a more often basis than in baseball. Like,
it.
oh yeah.
like,
All right.
All right.
Well,
reason I
that's
don't like
sports.
baseball, number one, not enough
That's
home runs.
sports ball.
That's sports talk.
That is let's sports talk.
I love the history of baseball way more than like watching the sport. Like, unfold.
So you liked when they were like racist and kept things segregated?
Here we
You
go.
Like that?
I
Here
would
we
teach
go. Like
it
that?
to my students, but
Here we go.
I don't think baseball was better for the sub out
thought you were-
industry.
The
I thought you were saying
relatability there.
Oh, it sounded like you wanted to go back to that. You're trying to be like a racist. Oh, okay.
Yep,
I just
yep.
wanted to
Big-
Corey,
Just
it was nice having Corey for the first and apparently last time. So he ain't coming back after that remark. But with that said, Corey, thank you so much for stopping by.
Yes,
we
sir.
really do appreciate it.
Always.
I know you are very busy, but it is your off season, so I thought we could steal you maybe for an
thank you,
episode
guys.
or a couple. But
Yep.
We know
what do
you're
you-
busy, but you're not right now. So thanks.
Yep.
I gotta make it relatable. Apparently, I don't know. We'll possibly try and keep collabing with Corey.
Yep.
I know
Of course.
we always try to, but for this episode of MV3, I've been Kyle. Has been. I can never figure this crap out. That has been Tyler. Down there is T-Bone. Over there is Corey. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Check out all the socials. If you can check out the live content on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. There will also be gaming content over at MV3 Gaming. You can check out our TikTok. All of these are MV3 Podcast. And if for tomorrow, we will be uploading the audio on Spotify, Apple Pods, and Google Pods. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. We will talk to you soon.
Peace.
Later, guys.
only thing with the White Sox, I say they've been coasting into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay's been having to win. It just depends on who gets hot.
The Philadelphia Eagles do have an opportunity.
To be honest, I thought you were going to say the Atlanta Falcons.
No, fuck no.
Oh god, yeah, that would have been that would have been warranted.
Paul George to show up again, and they need Reggie Jackson to be the best point guard left standing outside of Trae Young, who's hurt.